A common question that I get is, how do I train? To preface this question, I am a big fan of doing whatever the hell you like. Yoga, cycling, hiking, playing sports, taekwondo, blah blah blah. Just staying active is better than doing nothing. But if your goal is to look good, and good by societal definition roughly translates to having more muscle and less fat, aka having muscle tone, you should be building muscle. And my favorite program to recommend to myself and most of my clients to build muscle is a bodybuilding style program. This question here today is specifically to answer a question that you've always asked Veronica and Alfred. So I hope this video does that question justice. And I have written an accompanying blog post that kind of explains how and why I structure these exercises this way. But this video should go into the nuances of why. Behind me is what I believe to be a very efficient training program. And by efficient, I mean if you have 45 minutes in the gym and you can only do 3 or 4 exercises, this should be the go-to exercise. But before that, 2 main criteria I feel which define a successful training program. It has to be, first, goal-oriented. If your goal is to build muscle and your training program is leaning towards helping you improve your flexibility or improve your endurance, you can do that, yes, but it's not the most efficient use of your time. So if your goal is to build muscle, your training program should reflect that. And the second thing is, it has to be adherence. If you are doing a training program that you won't be able to repeat in 2 months' time when shit hits the fan, when your schedule gets a little bit too tight, then that program is not a successful training program as defined by me. Say you can train 3 times a week in the gym, and say you can only train about 45 minutes in the gym. This format would be a good way to begin. There's a back squat, there's bench press, there's chin up, there's deadlift, there's incline bench press, there's seated row. That's basically the same thing on Friday as it is on Monday. So if you break it down, right, that it's a lower body exercise, it's an upper body push exercise, and it's an upper body pull exercise. Just by doing these 3 exercises, you would have targeted 80% of most of the musculature that you should target. So if your goal is to tone muscles in your entire body, doing these 3 exercises would have hit 80% of the nail. That does not make any sense. But of course, this is not a complete list. If you consider yourself an intermediate lifter, this might not be enough. But for someone who does not have any idea how to navigate the landscape of the training world, this is a good start. So for every exercise to be effective, right, you should at least do 3 sets of it. I put 3 sets of squats here, 4 sets of bench press, 4 sets of chin-ups, because I would assume that the majority of my viewer would be men obsessed with having humongous upper body musculature. But you can pimp it up however you like. If you're new to training this way, if you're new to weight training, you may not want to exceed 12 sets of a lower body exercise, a pushing exercise, or a pulling exercise. Say if you can only train twice a week, what I would do is I would take this away. I will repeat Monday's exercise twice a week. You can do it on Monday and Thursday, Monday and Friday, it's up to you. If you can only train twice a week, you wouldn't want too much variety in your training program. For a very technical exercise such as the squat, if you're only doing it once a week, you might feel like you have to turn the engine on again after a whole week to get the groove of the movement. And notes on my hands. Why a full body split? Traditionally, most people would do a Monday chest day, Tuesday arm day, Wednesday back, Thursday legs. But consider this. If you train your chest muscles, for example, on Monday, it should be recovered within the next 48 hours. It doesn't make sense to train it again only after 168 hours, after 1 week. To maximize muscle growth, you may want to train it 2-3 times a week. That's why we do a full body training program. If I keep going back and forth, the freaking camera's autofocus can suck it. What if I have a lagging body part that these 3 exercises here don't cover. Really simple. Say you want to have bigger arms. Say you want to also have a bigger butt. For some reason, you're insecure about your calf size. Sets of 15, 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15. Voila. The basics is where you would gain most of your progress. But if you really want to pimp it up, just consider adding on to what is already an efficient and effective training program. Of course, you want to progressively overload these movements. So if you're squatting 40 kg for the longest time, consider going 42.5, 45, 50, 60, and so on. One strategy I really like to use with clients to really push them, especially with clients who travel a lot and don't get to train 4 weeks in a month. If a client trains with me for 3 weeks and the 4th week is going to be his or her last week before he or she flies off for a 1 week break, what I would do for the last week of training is really to up the ante and push an extra set for a squat, an extra set for this, an extra set for this. Maybe on Wednesday I'll take a chill pill, they can relax a little bit. And when I see them again on Friday, 1 extra set, 1 extra set, 1 extra set. And even 1 extra set here, 1 extra set on the accessory exercises that they really want to bring up. And a good way to also intensify the training program before they go for a week-long break, a deload, is to consider pushing at least the last 2 sets to an RPE, aka a ratings of perceived exertion of 9. Let's say if I ask someone, how do you feel this type of exercise was? 0 to 10. They should feel like that exercise feels like a 8 or 9. I generally don't go that intense, but if they are going to go for a week-long break, going that intense would make sense because they would be resting for the entire week. Anyway, I hope I have gotten my message across. I hope you guys have an idea of how to design a training program if you have not been in the gym before. I know it can be very intimidating. When I first went to the gym, there's tons and tons of equipment. Try out these 3 exercises first. And if it doesn't work, come back to me, we try to figure something out. But for 80% of my clientele, this way of creating an exercise program hits the nail. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you picked up something that can help you in your journey towards fitness.
Should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.